everyone. Hi, repeat viewers. Thank you. Replay. I call you repeat. It's replay viewers. I thank you for coming in. Thanks for joining, everyone. I am Karen, and if you're not following me, please, and you're live here on my scope, please tap the little guy in the lower right corner. Hey, 2970 708. Welcome, James. Welcome, Ardo. Welcome. I'm here at Black Creek Pioneer Village, and it's about 30 acres. And what they have on here, and as you can see, are these very old buildings. They're from the 1860s. A lot of them are original from, well, they've brought original buildings into this area to create a village. And there are original buildings here, and I'm just learning about all of these things myself. So as I learn, you will learn as well. So thank you for popping into Black Creek Pioneer Village. Hey Dave, how are you doing? So here is a little bit, so I'm just going to do a lot of panning today. Karen, here's the most important thing, take away from this place. Okay, so what is it? Hey, Kalitos. What is the most important thing? Sadler filmed Billy Madison there. He did. There's a series being filmed here right now called Houdini and Doyle. Same people who filmed Murdoch Mysteries. If you're from Canada, that series will be very familiar. So what I'm going to do is take a walk around. It'll take me just a few minutes to walk around, get my bearings. If you put hashtag Thanksgiving in the title, hearts change to turkeys. Yes, I knew that, and sorry I did not do that, but the reason being is that it's not my Thanksgiving. I'm here in Canada, in Toronto. This structure here, and I'll take you inside, is one of the original homesteads. I'm not sure about that. But we'll keep it clean because this is 1860s. So we want to be clean. So here, I'm going to just take a walk around. As I said, I'm at Black Creek Pioneer Village. I'm just in the north of Toronto. Oh, is it what the old lady says in the movie? Okay. But we just need to be clean. So this is what they call a halfway house. And I am just going to I'm on a Monty Pot. I'm trying that out as well. So a lot of new things for me today. And what I'm also going to try and do is not shoot kids. So I'm going to avoid shooting children. And I'm going to just play with this Monty Pot a little bit just to get acquainted with it. Well, unclean is keeping it very PG. Yes, I would appreciate that. Because then, you know what? Don't shoot anyone, I won't. Yeah, exactly, Jared. None of that. Because what I'm going to do is go back and delete you in the replay. So I'd like to keep all my visitors, and I appreciate that. So here So again, what they've done is there are original buildings that have been here since the early 1900s. This whole homestead, this whole village has original buildings that have been moved here, but there are buildings that are original. So I'm just trying to look at the map here and figure out where I'm at. But maybe we'll just take a look around and see how beautiful it is. So a lot back in the 1860s, a lot of these communities were built around water and the mill and using corn to create flour, etc., etc. So here would be the mill. So I'm just going to walk along here. Is corn vegan? I'm not sure. I would think so. It's not meat, or I'm not a vegan. You'll have to ask them. But this is very pretty. And I do believe I can go inside this building. There's so many buildings. There's 40 on this property, and I'd like to take you into all of them. So it's going to take me multiple scopes. Oh, now that wasn't there in the 1860s. So multiple scopes, guys. And again, this is an original home of the people who own this homestead. Hey, Luke. I am at Black Creek Pioneer Village today. I'm taking everyone for a bit of a walk. This would be the mill, where it was probably the center of the city and where everything was built kind of around it, because water was very important back in those days. Black Creek Pioneer Village, you'll find when I take you for this little bit of a tour, the type of clothing, the food, they've got animals here. It's a pretty active village. And when we go inside, there will be people that we'll be able to talk to. And they'll know the history and everything else of the village. And they'll be in costume and everything. Old people from the 1800s. Original. Only the best. No, I did not go to York University. So let's take a look. This is Robbins Mill. Hey, Frankie, how are you doing? I am here investigating. Here, I've got a lot of paper because there's so much to go over, so I'm going to just lower this a little bit. Okay, so I want to take people on a bit of a tour of Black Creek Pioneer Village. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, thank you. It's we celebrated Thanksgiving already, but I wish you all the best. Yes, it's your Thanksgiving. Did you watch the Macy Day Parade? So here I'm taking everyone for a walk around Pioneer Village. It's a village dating back to 1860s. So we are at the mill, something that would have supplied the people here with a lot of grain and flour. There you go. 1842. So this mill in Ameliasburg, Ontario. All these buildings were from Ontario, by the way, and moved here. So they ground grain into the flour. And the building's closed today. So what I'm going to do is just show you from here. Thanks for the hearts. Hey, Mike, thanks for popping in. I'm in just north of the city of Toronto, and I'm just showing, I'm not allowed up these stairs because the building is actually closed. No work today. So I'm in a village that focuses around the 19th century, so around 1860s. I'm just going to walk up here. Yeah, I'm in Toronto. Just off of 407 and Jane. So this building, what's this building? So this is a building where the person would make barrels, guys. Hope I'm not losing any connection. So in many of these spaces, they have people who will help with the history of the building. So I'm just going to walk down this way. Again, this is like the first time I've actually taken a walk here, so everything is new for me. There's going to be a lot of history. I'm going to do some research for everyone and take you into these buildings so that we get a bit of a taste of what 1860s would have been like. It was a ghost, Luke. It was a ghost. So this looks to be the Presbyterian church. So let's go in and have a look. Some of the buildings, most were not actually moved but rebuilt. Well, I would say that they probably were refurbished, and some are original, and many were moved here. So this is the church. So this is what it would look like back in 1860s. You've got your wood burning stove right here. Yeah, all different areas from Ontario. Yeah. The pulpit, not one community, but candles, so not electricity at the moment, no electricity. There are original buildings, though, just so you know, here. The barn for sure is original. The house at the beginning of my walk around is original, from the owners that lived here. And I'm not sure, are you the official Minister of Tourism? No, but you know what? I have to do some studying because there are 40 buildings on here, and this is my first time on here, and I found that I actually, oops, looks like there's someone in here. So I need to find out. That's a ghost, by the way, people. Oh, it's closed. So I guess I can't, oh, maybe I can. Look at this. All right, so let's find out where we are. We are where, I'm sorry? Mans.
This is a house that's provided by the minister, or not by the minister, by the church.
Okay.
For the minister and his family.
All right. And, sorry, guys, can you hear that? Here, I'm going to take this out. Maybe. There you go. Maybe you'll be able to hear that better. So we're in the minister's house.
Yes.
And so what we're doing today is I'm walking around and I'm periscoping. So guys, if you want to share this on iPhone, swipe to the right. And if you want to share on Android, swipe up. That would be fantastic. We are in the minister's home in about in the 1860s.
1860s. The house was built in the 1830s.
1830s. Hi from Windsor. Hello. Hi, Liza. Thanks for joining. So, and what would be the normal date? Are you the minister's wife?
Well, for today.
For today. She's the minister's wife, people. Again, this is Black Creek Pioneer Village. It's a village set in about 1860, so before Confederation. And this is the minister, right across from the Presbyterian Church. It's the minister's home and the minister's wife for today. If you could show us some of the highlights. See, there's a wood burning stove right here, which is Magnificent.
Very warm, yes. This one came from Smiths Falls in Ontario, and the oven is up top here, and you can boil and stew and fry down here. So it was a necessity for this family because they weren't just feeding themselves, they were feeding the extended church family. So if you were deserving of the church's kindness, then they were helping feed them. Or if you look in the basket behind you there, there is sewing to make blankets. You were helping clothe and make blankets and spiritually feed these people too, because this is who is going to be the safety blanket for people who fall through the cracks. So 150 years ago, it's a very busy house, and although it's very romanticized, if you've ever read Little Women by Louisa May Alcott,
Right.
that's what people expect of families like this, because like when they are about to sit down to their Christmas dinner and the girls are just about to get the food to their mouths, and just as they do that, there's a knock on the door, and it's the little German family down the road. They're starving, the husband is off in the American Civil War. Well, here, it's not the American Civil War, but the minister is out. He had 7 different counties, roughly, that he was covering, from Richmond Hill to Newmarket, to out towards Peterborough, to out towards Caledon. So he spends a lot more time on the road battling for people's immortal souls than he does at home.
Right.
So the wife becomes the figure like Marmee, where she's at home and she's the angel of the hearth, creating, this heaven on earth for the family.
Right.
So people were coming and going, and on the 3rd Sunday in November, it would be very important, you would be having Stir-Up Sunday. So this is pudding.
A pudding, guys. Wonderful. Back in the 1860s. And anyone new, I'm at Black Creek Pioneer Village. We're in a village that represents the time in Ontario around the 1860s. So we're in the minister's home, vegan. Jared, I don't know. Stop asking. Mitney, welcome.
People, is that what he wants to
Vegan
know?
food.
Well, there would have been some. I believe Kellogg, and I'd have to look up the date to see when he was around. Kellogg is somewhere near this time period, and I believe he was vegan.
Okay.
I believe. So check it out, see it yourself, look it up.
For sure. Okay, awesome. And writing, so you taught some of the kids writing. Obviously you would have for, I guess.
There was, by the 1860s, you would have had a public school that's already set up because of Ryerson. But you did have, one of the first ministers that lived in this house, Reverend Jenkins, did run some schooling from the home. So it's very important. By the 1860s, when the next minister has already come in here, their sons probably would have gone off to Upper Canada College, where their daughters may have gone to a private school or might have had governess come into the house, just because they wanted more than the school could give these children.
Great. Guys, I just noted a few people have joined. I'm at Black Creek Pioneer Village. It's Karen that you're following. I scope Toronto and surrounding areas. Today I'm here at Black Creek Pioneer Village. It's a great sample of where Ontario was at in the 1860s time period before Confederation, which was 1867. So it's an exciting time for all the people who migrated here on faith that they would make a new life for themselves. So we're in the minister's home, and we've just been talking with the minister's wife for today. You can catch the replay, please do. And anyone watching on replay, thank you for stopping in and having a look. And also, what was I going to say? I'm going to be spending more time at Black Creek, and we're going to learn a lot more about all the different buildings. There's about 40 structures on here in this village, so we'll learn more about them. So what I'm going to do today, oh my God, John Kellogg was a vegetarian, which is what you're saying?
Yes.
A new point, and Jared, yes, I won't tell you to be quiet next time you ask a question like that. Darsa, thanks for joining. Everyone, if you want to share this scope, that would be fantastic. Swipe to the right on iPhone, swipe up on Android, and just bring more of your followers into a little bit of history today. Hey Craven, I'm at Black Creek Pioneer Village. We're taking a walk back in the 1860s. So we're in the minister's house, and we're going to just take a walk around and see what's around us. Is there anything special in this room that
There
you...
is.
So
the
we're just
family's
gonna-
Scottish, so the big celebration for these people would have been Hogmanay rather than Christmas.
Okay.
When Henry VIII is in power much earlier, he outlaws Christmas because it would have been crazier than Mardi Gras. And Cromwell's in power, so the ripple effect of that is that people moved in Scotland their holidays and their festivities to New Year's. And some of the treats that they moved, because otherwise you could have been imprisoned for it, were things like plum pudding, which we were stirring up in the kitchen for Stir Up Sunday, Christmas cake, mincemeat tarts. You couldn't have those. And they changed the shape because originally they were sort of an oval shape to represent the cradle of Christ. But because Henry VIII is also trying to rid himself of his current wife, and the Catholic Church won't support that, you couldn't have anything that hinted of the Catholic Church. So they changed it to a round shape rather than the oval cradle that it had been to disguise it.
Wow.
By this period, though, you're seeing that, yes, these people are having this. Some people would have adopted some of the customs of Victoria and Albert, who become very popular as monarchs. There's a beautiful picture that comes across the ocean. This family hasn't. So you've got jelly, you've got white gingerbread, you've got ginger nuts over here. You also have apple pie, and you've got ratafia, which is an almond type of cookie. And the pudding would have been soaked in liquor and then brought ablaze to the table, and then you would have had a caramel sauce over top.
Very nice, very nice.
Mm-hmm. And
Wow.
Another thing that you would have had was with the Christmas cake. If you've ever gone to a wedding and had groom's cake where it's a fruit cake,
Right.
that's because this is the time of year when people got married. It's when you could travel because the sleighs could get across the properties instead of run it in because it was so swampy in a lot of areas.
Guys, we are learning a lot today. Because you're in this space in the minister's home, did you cook any of these in this space?
Oh yes.
So what?
I made the pudding.
So you made this pudding
Mm-hmm.
in this. Well, I'm not sure
Right
how.
on the stove here.
Right
and
on
it's
the
steamed
stove
for
there,
6
guys.
hours.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And then you would have to steam it for about another 4 hours when you actually went to eat it. So they would dry it out and it would sit because you made it early in November. And that was how you would be able to eat it. And the sauces are what give it its flavor, because otherwise, really, the only sweet part about a pudding is the raisins or the currants that are in it. There's no spices, there's nothing else. It's just raisins, currants, suet, and what else did I put in there? Egg and breadcrumbs. That's what goes into it. So it's the sauces on top.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you? Okay, go ahead. I'll let you highlight what's in your home.
Okay, so in here, this is the parlor and dining room. Reverend Jenkins had, like I was saying, couples getting married. Roughly February, he had 6 couples show up on the same day, and they wouldn't all fit in the parlor here. So he took them all into the snow on the front lawn and married them all at the same time out there. If you take a peek over here, you can see into the guest bedroom.
Okay, let's.
That's where you put up traveling ministers, people who might be sick or destitute, or even family members will go there. The only place of privacy in this home was upstairs in your bedroom. That's it.
Sorry, guys, I cannot go upstairs because it is roped off.
Where you can go upstairs that's similar to this is in Berwick House. It's
Okay.
also a half story upstairs, and they're also, this is middle class.
This is middle class.
Yes.
So I'm just going to take a wide shot here.
So you've got your settee with the larger pieces of furniture in the house belong to the house. They're provided by the church, and the smaller pieces, like the melodeon over here, belong to the family. So this is a musical instrument. Whoops.
Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get
Sorry.
a good shot for you.
This is a musical instrument that was easily transported, and Mrs. Cook, who Cookstown is named for, with her husband, was so popular traveling around with this that with between 50 to 75 miles, she was constantly being asked to come and play and sing. So they were very, very popular. You can see a cousin of this in Halfway House, except that that one is bigger, and it was meant to stay in the home. So it was a really pretty piece of furniture. Sometimes today you can see the same things with the heart legs turned into little desks.
Yeah, I'll say the heart legs, guys. I'll just bring the camera down a little bit more so you can maybe see. I mean, you have to remember we're in 1860s, so you only have window light and kerosene, yes?
Yes.
Kerosene light right there. And then we have another room in through here.
That's the minister's study. So everywhere the congregation was going to have access to in this house, they've made sure that there is a stove. So in the parlor dining room where they might have come and sat down and either had a Bible study or talked about how they were going to raise funds for the poor, because when they opened the box up on Boxing Day, and that's actually what it's for, it was a poor box that you would have collected money or goods for, and you would have distributed it on Boxing Day. So they could sit down and talk about how they were going to do that. They could have come for a dinner party. They could have just come because they wanted to talk to the minister's wife and they were friends.
Right.
But over here is where you're going to be counseled. It's where the minister is going to write his sermons. There's a group about to come in just a minute.
Okay, so I'm just going to have a look in here, and then I'm going to leave the minister's wife, and we're going to carry on. Here you go, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have fun. If you like to read, a great, great book is Much to Be Done. It's actual diary entries from here in Ontario from about the 1830s to the 1890s, and it was compiled by Francis Hoffman. Another book that's really good is Sisters in the Wilderness, and that was about Susanna Moody and Catherine Bartrell. So those are very good books.
Thank you very, very
You're
much.
welcome.
Very informative. All right, guys. I think there was people that were going to come in. Show the stove? Okay.
Left.
You think they're left?
Yeah, they turned around and went. So you're okay.
There you go. How cold it is today? It's a little chilly, but every time I come into one of the buildings, they've got a stove going, so it's very warm. So again, we're told that the pudding was made here, correct?
Yes.
On this stove. So this is the stove that it would have been made of. And just take a little look around.
Oh, if they want a funny story that's online, if you go to Miss Slimmons' window, you can read a story that was written over a year's period. In 1859, that's where I found it in a Godey's Ladies book, and it's hilarious. She's a milliner, so she makes bonnets and hats, and she's on a manhunt. Nothing and no one is going to stand in her way. So she's, it's all told from her point of view. So if you have time and you just go online, look up Miss Slimmons' window and be prepared to laugh.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Very, very informative. The stove in the front room, please. Okay, I will go to the front room because our visitors aren't here. This stove, right?
It's a parlor stove.
A parlor stove.
And you would have to ship in coal for that. It would come up from the States and it could be soft, so it could be a little bit iffy because it could build up gases.
Did you hear that? So it's a coal stove. That
So the coals
so the coals
here.
would sit there.
You could put potpourri or coals in here so you could light your pipe. And then up here, this comes off. So when they would have put straw down on the floor, they would have nailed a carpet on top of that. It builds up static electricity. So you could put water in here and this would moisten the room.
There you go, guys. Interesting. Thank you very much again.
You're welcome. Have fun.
Okay, we'll see you another day.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So we're going to move on out of the minister's house. So this is just the front hallway of the minister's house. So let's find another place to go. So that's fun. So I'm going to just take a walk through the village here. So again, that's the minister's wife today. She may be different on my next visit. And this is, okay guys, let me know before I start to go any further. Do you want me to put my headset back in, or do you hear me quite fine like this? So mic in or leave it like this. How does that? You hear me okay? So let me put the mic in and then you tell me if you hear me better. Sorry. How's that? How's that? So maybe what I'll do, sounds okay? So maybe what I'll do is when I go into a house, I'll take the mic out because it is windy here, so and then you'll be able to hear them. So I hope you liked that. That was fantastic. I will turn around, and this is, again, this was the minister's house. They aren't showing the anthem of the NFL Game Pass, and I really, really love the girl. Oh. So there you go. Well, I'm glad that you like that, Mac. If you guys want to share this scope, that would be awesome. Swipe to the right on iPhone and swipe up on Android. So you'll see these old lamps as well. There you go. The minister's home. And there was, and here's a pond right in here. Again, a lot of villages were situated around water for the mill. I'm just going to show you here. So and that's the mill right there. So again, if you're just new to the scope, a number of these homes were brought in from around Ontario, but they certainly reflect that age of 1860s. Now I just noticed as I'm walking through here, I noticed that, which could be one of the grinding for the mill. No, I'm in Toronto, so we've celebrated Thanksgiving already. So we do that in October. So the sign here says the mill, church, the brewery. So again, I'm just going to avoid the children because I'd like to keep that private. You're in Australia. Well, I'm at Black Creek Pioneer Village in Toronto. So we'll just avoid all the kids. They're all in clusters, which is really great. So I can just turn the camera away from them. There's a lot of groups. If you're just joining, you're with Karen and I scope in and around Toronto. I'm at Black Creek Pioneer Village today. It's a village that represents Ontario in 1860s, so before Confederation.
That's so cool.
Oh, thank you. I actually did study to be a DJ, and I was a DJ, an all-night DJ. Back in the day, I was an all-night DJ. So this is one of the original homes of the people who own this property that this village is centered around. So I am going, just because I see kids here, so I'm just going to go into this building because I'm not sure what this building is all about. And I have too much paperwork. So why don't we see if it's open? And then if the person of the house is there, they can explain to us what it's all about. Guys, we can't go in. Haunted. Hello. Oh, look. I am periscoping to people who are from all over the world and exploring Black Creek Pioneer Village today. So, and you are?
Well, I'm in the Berwick house. I could have been his wife.
Sorry, which, sorry?
This is Berwick house.
Berwick.
And it's named after the village it came from, Berwick.
Okay, I'm going to take my mic out, guys.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
And so Berwick is originally, it would have been where Woodbridge is. It was renamed because of the discovery that there was 2 Berwicks in Ontario. You could only have one. And so that meant the younger one had to rename itself, and so it chose Woodbridge.
Wow, okay.
This is the parlor. It is a little bit more decorative. We have a lot of our Christmas stuff on display because this is what an English family would have come down to see. They would come down because there's no Christmas tree. It's all on the sofa and on the table. So we have some knitting work, some books, a little Berlin work kit, some tools, as well as a little shawl, a doll, an apron, and even some games and a rocking horse. Of course, all of these items would have been what children of upper middle class would have gotten.
Wonderful. And you have a piano.
Yes, the piano is a little luxury good. It means that children in this household would have been educated in music. So, in this household, we have a lady of the household who can focus on doing needlework like I'm doing right here.
Right.
Just some cross stitch. And so she wouldn't have to go out and educate her children. She has a governess doing that, and she has a servant doing the cooking and cleaning. In the other room over here, we have our Christmas food on display.
We're just going to move over here.
So we have a few of the traditional English foods that they would have eaten.
A little different than the minister's house.
Yeah, the manse is something that would have been the home of whatever the village would have been able to offer, not what they can offer because of their services. Because he's not making his own money, he's getting his money from the villagers for doing his service as minister. And so in this household, we have a little bit more luxury goods, such as the tipsy cake, which is literally for tipsiness, how you would eat it, because it's a cake that's soaked in an alcohol substance. I think it's brandy or sherry, something like that.
And where would the money be coming from this house?
In this household, it's the lawyer or mill owner's home. So they're
The mill
valid.
owner or the lawyer?
Yeah, so the person who owns the mill, not who works it.
Okay.
Who owns it, and the mill owner, the lawyer is well educated for one thing, and he would have been dealing with any law cases.
Well, lawyer or mill owner, she's saying. And they were asking who the image in the picture is.
Okay, so there's one over in the parlor. That was Mr. Davis, and this is Mrs. Davis, and she's the founder of Davisville in Toronto.
Okay.
So Toronto used to be made up of a whole pile of little villages. And so today we have all of our subway stations named after its little village it once was.
Got you.
Davisville is a station stop in Toronto.
So remember, guys, this is Black Creek Pioneer Village, going back to the 1860s. A lot of these homes were brought here from the era, but brought here from Ontario, areas within Ontario. There are some buildings here which are were original here to this property.
Anything with the name Stong.
S-T-O-N-G. Stong. Anything with the name Stong, that's an original building. Okay. And I'm gonna, because I have this, I'm just gonna do this.
So we have a few things. We have our mincemeat tarts or meringues, our cranberry tart, which is like a cranberry cake, our shortbreads, nuts, because nuts would have been a big item, more shortbreads, an orange cake, which is a Christmas cake underneath, and then orange cake on top, more mincemeat tarts, and then this is a lemon jelly, or lemon cream, and
Wonderful.
it has kisses, and we of course have our Christmas cake and a red jelly.
Wonderful.
The red jelly is red because of the cochineal beetle in Mexico. They would take that and get crushed up, and then they could actually make the red color.
Wonderful. Now, upstairs, you're allowed upstairs in this house?
There's 4 bedrooms.
4 bedrooms, guys, upstairs. So we'll just venture upstairs while the little ones are down here, and then we will come down while they're probably going to come up.
Yeah, there's 4 bedrooms upstairs. There's
Okay.
a girls' room and a boys' room.
girls' room, a boys' room. So we will venture up the stairs, and I will try not to fall. Again, what I'm trying to do is avoid. There you go. There's another light. Where is it? Another light right here. So we're going to take a look. Let's go. There's a boys' room, a girls' room. You're going to have to hear the little ones, but I won't be shooting them. There's another room. What do you mean, in the trees? Go ahead, go ahead. These halls are very narrow. This looks like a girl's room. Oh, you're very welcome. And there's a bit of a bedpan here. You have to remember this is a little bit more of a, I think, upper middle class, because a lawyer would have owned this home, or the person who owned the mill, not the person who worked in the mill. Well, you know, I want to be respectful of Black Creek Pioneer Village. They've been very nice in letting me come and scope here as often as I need to. So there's so much history here, and I really, really want to do it justice. So I will be here. Here's the two rooms. Here, I'll move like that. That's pretty cool. There is outdoor plumbing. And if I can, I will show you. I saw an outhouse. So this must have been the sewing room. So anyway, because they've been so gracious to let me scope. So once these kids, here, I'll just go up like this, because then I won't get anyone.
Oh,
when they come
this
up,
is the girls.
I will go down.
Yeah, this is the girls' bathroom. Oh, wait a minute.
Alright, so the kids are up, so I'll come down.
That's the boys.
And I think, so this is a pretty,
That's the parents.
well, that might be a skylight
This is the
now.
boys.
So here, so let's go down the stairs.
The parents.
And that's the governess.
Oops. Oops. Sorry, guys.
It's a half a story upstairs. That's to save on taxes. You build half a story upstairs because it would be a tax-free area, and so that's the way you
A
get around.
tax-free area if you built a half a story upstairs.
1.5 story house. So taxes were about your stories. So this is a 1-story house because the half story is not a full story.
Oh.
And that worked up until about the 1890s.
Wow.
So this house was built in 1844, and so for almost a few years it was tax-free.
Wow, there you go, guys. So I'm going to just walk down the hall here.
Just always turn the whole knob.
So this is an office, let's say, right here.
So you can look around. We have the gentleman's
Yeah,
room
tax
and
perk.
butler's pantry over here.
So a
Dining
gentleman's
and
room.
Parlor. So these two rooms, you guys are
And-
not being allowed in unless you get special permission.
She say this is a pantry.
You guys would have eaten with the
There we go.
governess in the kitchen.
So I'm just hearing her saying the kids would eat in the kitchen with the governess and the help. And this is, oh, I can come in. I hope you guys see all this. I hope I'm still getting reception. So this is pretty cool. Let me just make sure. Yeah, it looks like I'm getting reception still. Yeah, the colors are great, right? Let's just take a look around. And again, remember, there's not electricity back in the 1860s, so it is, the light is what it is. There would be a lot of window light coming in. You can see perfectly. Awesome. Guys, if you're new to my scope, you're with Karen Mancini. I scope in and around Toronto. I'm at Black Creek Pioneer Village. Right now I'm in one of the homes, a home that probably would have been owned by a lawyer or the mill owner. The mill was almost the central part, I would think, of a village. At this time, water was very important for grain, for flour.
Do you have any other questions?
Is there any key thing in this kitchen that you could speak to?
Oh, well, in this kitchen, we would have had the servant doing their working, cooking and cleaning. The governess would have been educating the children back here, and the children would eat with the governess and the servant. They would not have been allowed to eat with their parents in the dining room because they're seen as uncivilized. They don't know which fork to eat with.
Uncivilized people. The kids.
Because it would have been a large cutlery set, and it would be the guessing game of which fork do I eat with, and
Right.
which spoon. And so they would have gotten educated here. And then this back here is the scullery, and so that's where you do all your messy work.
Oops, sorry.
It's like laundry, dishes, your baths. So we have our bathtub just over here on the corner, and then if you look
there you
inside,
go.
we also have a big wash basin.
You may not see the tub that's hanging on the wall. And the wash basin and laundry room. So you call this room, you would call
Scullery.
a scullery, guys.
Yeah.
A scullery back in the 1860s. And it's quite large. Quite large.
And notice that the floor is brick, so that's if there's any water
There you go.
to fall on the ground, it's no big deal because it would just go back into the earth.
Exactly, exactly. And again, we're in the kitchen, guys, where the kids they would be taught here by the governess, they would eat here because they're not civilized at that point.
Middle class standards, that is.
Middle class standards. And this is the stove.
So this is my kitchen back
That
here.
they would
This is
cook
where
from.
we would do all the cooking and cleaning, and the children would have eaten back here. If you guys want to peek into the scullery, you can. That's where you do all your messy work, like your laundry.
And something that I wanted to ask, oh, there's a beautiful unit right there.
What's in there? That's the scullery.
I wanted to also ask about like a cold cellar or
That
something
would be underground, yeah.
underground. Okay.
Yeah. This house would have had it just off to the side.
Okay. And again,
Well,
guys,
this is what our
because
tours are doing.
there's
So
because there
this is
are
called a
kids here,
mari,
I
which you would then
avoid
take your
shooting the children. So we will
your
just continue on.
fork, you would stab in a little bit just to make holes. And then what we do is we
I
take
don't
our
want to go too
clothes,
quickly because I know
we
that
would
it
just push it in like this.
loses
Shove
focus.
them in. You want to try? You're going to put it in there. Okay?
So,
One up. Put it into
You
that
would just
hole.
come through the hall here from the kitchen.
Thanks, guys.
You have the male parlor like right here for the men.
You're going to put yours right there, okay?
And then there's another room here. Again, this is dating back to 1860s. So we are in a home dating back to that time period. And it's a wealthy home of a man who would be a lawyer in the community, or he would be an owner of possibly the mill. So this is like the living room. And you can tell that they're a little bit more upper class because they have a piano. So let's move on from this home. And again, I'm just avoiding the children, so I'll move the camera up to the sky for a moment. And over here while I back out of this house. So there you go. I would say this is, I mean, she says middle class. I would say a little more upper class. So this yellow building, I'm not sure what this yellow building is. So there's a lot of kids here today. And it looks like this building is probably closed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my headphones back in. I want to go into that mercantile store, so one second. So let me just have a look and see what this building is. And here's the side of this house. Again, this would be a bit of an upper class, middle class. A lawyer would live in this house in the 1860s. Possibly the owner of the mill.
Daniel Flynn House. It's closed for restoration and repair. It was built in 1858. It came from Yonge Street in North York. Used as a home, and a shop. So there you go. So this is a typical house of a working class person. And so they are refurbishing it. And this is a house of a more upper class. So what they've done here in Black Creek Pioneer Village is they've gathered homes from around Ontario. Yeah, I love the yellow house here. I'll show it to you again. They've gathered homes from around Ontario that date back to in and around the 1860s. And they've relocated them here. If they need refurbishing, then they'll have to refurbish them. There are homes. I saw that screen grab. Thank you. If you want to tweet that to me at Karen Mancini, that would be awesome. Anyone that's taken any screen grabs, that would be great. If you're watching on replay, thanks. And if you're watching at home, comfort of your home, on Apple TV, thanks. This is one of the original homes, which I'll take you into right there. But first, I want to just have a look over at this place. It looks really cool. That looks... Now this is the brewery. Hard for me to say that word for some reason. They do have tours and tasting. You know what? I would maybe think that this may have been, the hotel. You think you ate there once. Natrice, are you serious? Up on the deck. So yeah, it's the halfway house. So I'm not sure if I can go in. Please be brewed. I maybe can't go in at this time, but maybe I can. Oh, are they open right now or no?
No, it's open.
Open? Okay.
All day.
All day. Let's go in.
Every house you have to.
Okay, open the door.
Yeah, open the door.
All right. So let's have a look. So it's pretty plain right now, but there may have been a reason for that. I think they're going to be setting up some decorations in here because I see someone working over here by the bar. And there's, again, children, so I will keep this up and then bring it down when we can see. So when you walk in the front door, you go into this bar area where you can sit, and then we come into this space. Maybe this was like where men would smoke cigars or things like that, of that nature. It's very nice in this archway, like right up here. So we will just walk over here. So as you can see, there was a series being shot here over the last week. So I think they may have taken some dressings down. So they have to put things back in order. So because there's kids right there, I won't go downstairs. And their kids are there, so I'll let them finish in the kitchen area. Let's have a look over here. Everywhere looks bigger inside than outside. Yeah. So obviously, this is the dining room. And if you're just joining me, you're with Karen. And if you'd love to share this scope, that would be fantastic. You swipe to the right on iPhone, swipe up on Android. I scope in and around Toronto. This is Black Creek Pioneer Village, just north of the downtown core of Toronto. It features a lot of what went on in the 1860s in Ontario, what immigrants would have had to do, how they lived, how they cooked, the mill being really a prime focal point of a village in that day. It's really centered around water. So I see the kids leaving behind me. So I'm going to go into the kitchen. Maybe we can have a chat. Hello, hello. So do not eat the sugar. It is recycled. Oh, I see. Try your hand at powdering some lumps of loaf sugar. Oh, okay.
So a sugar loaf
So,
is
so that's a sugar loaf, guys. I'm on Periscope, so what I'm doing is I'm walking around and people pop into my scope from around the world, so I'm just sharing Black Creek Pioneer Village with people. Do kids ever eat the sugar anyway? Well, maybe. Can you guys at all tell me a little bit about the kitchen here? And it's larger than home kitchens, obviously. So this is a hotel, guys. And how many people do you think they would have to service in any given?
It's hard to say. This was on highways of the province. So they might have had, certainly in the early days, a lot of customers, perhaps as many as 100 people during the course of the day having a meal. As for overnight guests, they were pretty close to Toronto, so about a 2-hour drive from Toronto. So they may not have had quite so many overnight guests. We do know that they had boarders, so people who stayed for longer periods. So they might have used some of the bedrooms upstairs, but they had to have at least 4 beds available for bona fide travelers in order to get the tavern license.
Ah, okay. And upstairs, nowadays, for Black Creek, do they entertain visitors and they can have dinner upstairs? Or is this a working dinner?
No, so upstairs the large room is a ballroom, so that's where they would have had dances during the 19th century.
Okay.
And you may have heard of the Hackett House restaurant that was operating in the basement here.
Oh, I see.
It's a modern restaurant, but it's not really open.
Okay. So I can take a walk upstairs
Yes.
to see the ballroom? Okay, awesome, guys. So here you go. This is a very large hall for a restaurant. And I'm just going to pan around so you see it. And they actually are cooking. So let's take a walk upstairs. The kids aren't in the building any longer, so I don't have to worry about where I'm shooting, but we are walking upstairs, so sorry guys. So this is the ballroom area above the restaurant and bar and living room space and dining room. So let's just take a look. So the ballroom, again with your fireplace, and it looks like it's coal. And obviously they've moved things around for a certain occasion. That's pretty cool. Let's take a look outside for a minute. Kind of what they would see back in the day. If you're just joining, you're with Karen, and I'm at Black Creek Pioneer Village in Toronto. I'm just going to lower this so I can take it down the stairs properly. And the village is set in 1860s. So here's one of the bedrooms for anyone that wanted to rent and stay overnight. And there's another one right here. Thanks for the hearts, guys. And thanks for joining. Thanks for sharing. Lumpy mattress. Yes. Just looking outside the windows. This is fun. Back in the 1860s. So I'm going to come back and visit. I'm just going to fix my camera setting here. Oh, sorry. All right, we are outside. So we have walked down this lane. You can check it on the replay. We've walked over here. That yellow home is being refurbished. And now we've been at the halfway house. So what I'm gonna do, here we go. Yeah, I'm gonna go into one of this home right here. Now this home is an original home of the person that lived here back in the day. Stong. S-T-O-N-G. So this would be their home. The barn that's right up the road there to the far left, that is an original barn. I was reading, it's hard to find a barn that's over 200 years old, but this is back in 1860, so we're almost 150 years old for Confederation, right? So, well, Luke, thank you very much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scope down for right now. I'm just going to get my bearings, and I'm going to come back because I'm going to go into this original home, and then I'm going to go into the shop. I see back, so I think that'll be fine. The yellow building right there. So I'm going to go in there and have a look and see what's going on in the store. So again, come back, follow me here on Periscope, that would be awesome, and follow me on Twitter. I'll be back in a few minutes, guys, so please pop back on when you have a minute.